Elmer Jackson of Topeka was among 3 young African-American men lynched 100 years ago next Monday by an angry mob in Duluth, Minnesota for a sexual assault they apparently did not commit. This is Tim Rencher, the history guy for CJ Online, talking about the 23-year-old Jackson, who was among 6 African-American laborers for a traveling circus who were arrested after an 18-year-old white man and a 19-year-old white woman reported they had been beaten and the woman had been robbed and raped. On June 15, 1920, a mob of thousands broke into the Duluth City Jail, shown here afterward in a photo from the Minnesota Historical Society, and pulled the 6 men from their cells. The mob held a mock trial. It concluded 3 of the men, Jackson, Elias Clayton, and Isaac McGee, had raped the woman. Those men were then beaten and lynched. Clayton, Jackson, and McGee remained buried for years in unmarked graves at Duluth, where headstones, including this one for Jackson, were finally put up in 1991. A physician's examination of the 19-year-old woman found no physical evidence of rape. Still, one circus laborer was convicted of raping her and spent 4 years in prison. The lynchings left Duluth's African-American community horrified, enraged, and calling for justice. 2 members of the mob were convicted of rioting and one other of instigating a riot. Each served a little more than a year in prison. Jackson's father, Clifford Jackson, unsuccessfully sued the city for neglecting to protect his son. Still, this African-American woman, Nellie Francis, led efforts that resulted in the state of Minnesota's passing a law in 1921 stipulating that damages be paid to the dependents of anyone who was lynched, and providing for the firing of police officers who were negligent in protecting prisoners from lynch mobs. In 2003, the city of Duluth put up this memorial to Clayton, Jackson, and McGee. Jackson is shown in the middle. Events are being held there this week to honor the 3, as well as George Floyd, who died May 25th in police custody in Minneapolis, about 155 miles southwest of Duluth. Efforts led by community activist Sonny Scroggins prompted the city of Topeka in October 2000 to rededicate this bridge, which passes over Shunganunga Creek on Southeast 15th Street, just east of Southeast Adams, as the Elmer Jackson Memorial Bridge. This is Tim Rencher, the history guy for CJ Online.